Well, hello there, and here I am. I'm back from the Sunrise Command, and we're ready to go with our live hangs here on the channel. And welcome, one and all. I think the operative word might be one on that. Anyway, there's always a delay and getting these things going. I have some new equipment and a new microphone, a new camera, things like that. So it's there may be some bugs involved. I don't know. I had to shut down everything and restart it because there wasn't any. I had a great stream and then it just kind of died. So who knows? Anyway, here we are, and I see that we have one person viewing, and let's see if we can't find out what's going on here. There we go. Well, it's just me, and I don't know who else is here with me, so I'll just keep on keeping on here. It's been a busy summer as we took really a break from running a channel and producing a video with decent anomaly finds every week is a full-time schedule, and I needed a little break, and that's what we did. And we did have a couple videos out over the summer, 3 or 4 anyway, I think, and I really enjoyed the relaxed pace. But we're back in the People's Republic of Massachusetts and trying out our new equipment. I have a light bar that came with this camera, and it's rechargeable, and I recharged it, and it's already going flat on me. How about that? Anyway, welcome to Alan. It might just be you and me tonight. I don't know. I don't have anybody else. I'm saying I have 3 viewers, and but I'm only showing Alan's moniker there. Hey, there's Don, and there's J-Rock VR. Welcome aboard, gentlemen, and welcome back to another season of Live Hangs here at MarsX3D. And of course, I'm your buddy Dave. And we got a lot of things now. And Tony is in the house. Hi, Tony. Welcome aboard. And we're going to be looking tonight at a number of things. I've decided, I had a little bit of a quandary that I've been working on. And that is that a colleague of mine, Rami Bar Ilan, is a wonderful anomalist. And he's found some really profoundly wonderful anomalies on Mars. He does great processing, but for some reason he won't communicate with me, and nor does he cite his finds, so they're very difficult to find. And of course, I like to find, if someone has found something, I like to find it myself using their link, and do my own processing and render it in 3D. And Rami refuses to provide a link. He will provide a SAL number, and of course, when you go into Analyst's notebook, you're looking at 300, sometimes 400 thumbnails you have to look through in order to find it, if you find it, especially if it's a tiny one. By the way, I'm hoping the sound is okay, that you can hear me okay. Maybe let me know if that's the case or not the case. And so I was lucky in finding 1 or 2 of them during the summer. But it's too much work, to take the time, which is sometimes 30, 45 minutes, sometimes longer, to go through 300 or 400 thumbnails looking for a particular anomaly. I just don't have the time to do it and do justice to the others. And so I made an executive decision. I decided to take his finds directly off of Facebook using his processing and convert them to 3D. And so far it's worked pretty well. I've tried to message him, I've tried to talk to him. For some reason he won't have anything to do with me, which is a little confusing to me, but hey, everybody's got their own likes and dislikes, don't they? Mary DD is here, and Martin Wolf Wright. Okay, my old eyes aren't working like they should. But I'll tell you what, we got a half dozen of you, proud weirdos, showing up in the audience. So let me do this. I'll share a couple real quick shots from the Sunrise Command, and this being the absolutely gorgeous Eagle Lake. And the water is crystal clear. You can literally drink the water. And the only thing that's in the water are granite boulders and the occasional fallen tree, and landlocked salmon and lake trout and brook trout. And folks, I tried like the dickens to catch those fish, but I just didn't have the right equipment. Now, I finally got what I needed, and when I go back next summer, I will be loaded for bear. And I should have some nice pictures to show you, I certainly hope, because it's a totally different type of fishing than bass fishing, which is what I'm accustomed to. And of course, I'd take my kayak out on the lake and work my way all over the place, trying to get anything to come out of the depths, but didn't have any takers. But I'm a pretty persistent guy, and I had a ball just kayaking as well, all over that beautiful lake. And so anyway, that's a couple summer vacation shots. I won't bore you with more of them. The light bar is dying, but you know what? You can still see me, so no problem. You don't need to see my face anyway. So why don't we go ahead? Any of you guys got any comments? Usually you have comments and they're not showing up. Why are they not showing up? Let's see if I'm doing something wrong. Oh, there it is. Okay, let me catch up then. Redline says hello. Hello, Redline. And Don is saying, Alan is correct. You're only coming out of the right channel. Now, how is that possible? That's not supposed to be happening. And Martin Wolfreich, good evening, sir. Very nice to have you back. Tony says it's sounding okay. And I'm only on one speaker. Are you sure it's not your thing? It's not on your end. Because I'm showing a full double channel here on the VU. And let's see. Tony, wonderful to see you as well. I wish I could actually see you. And only in one speaker. Now that is weird. I'm looking at the VU, and you're right. Now it's only showing one speaker. So how do I do that? How do I fix it? I'll go into the properties here. Nothing. And I'll go into the advanced audio properties. And Black Snowball is active. And balance of the left and right. I just moved it between the two. I don't know if that changed it. Let's change it to mono. Okay, in changing it to mono, I'm now showing both channels coming online. and hopefully, hello, Renee. Welcome, and thank you for staying up so late over there in the Netherlands. And yeah, it's a USB microphone, and I just changed it to mono. So I'm showing 2 channels, so it should be coming out of both. Okay, Donna's saying unplug it. First of all, before I go, hi, Granny, 43 Pigtail. You've been a faithful watcher, viewer, and listener, and all that through the summer. It's very nice to have you in the house. And that's it. Okay, now it's working. Hooray for Dave. You know, well, frankly, I'm not very computer literate. You know why? Because I'm an old guy. Okay? We weren't born with this stuff in our DNA like so many of the younger people today. And thank you, Granny. And we've got a lot of exciting stuff I'm going to tell you about a little later on. But let's go ahead and dive in, okay? So here's some stuff coming up. Now, this is a find by Sarah Runcie. She's a long-time anomalist and researcher. And she has dug this one out of Curiosity 3197. And if you look up there in the green box, you can see what looks like a little house there. And it even has a peaked roof. And let me just go back. Let me go back to Rooftop 01. You know, folks, I'm just working out bugs here. I don't know if this stuff is any good, and I'll get smoother with it as the weeks go by. And I'm having a transition issue to black. Oh dear. Okay, so we're going to put this back on screen. And it just is what it is, isn't it? Okay. Well, you know, this is one of those times where I wish I was Jimmy Roberts and or Chris Maroney, where I had this OBS stuff absolutely figured out, inside out, upside down, and backwards. And, you know, the truth of the matter is I don't. And I'm learning as I go. And yeah, Renee, I've had a lot of subscribers come on board during the summer. And, gosh, YouTube is still squelching my subscribers and keeping it hidden in the searches, but people are catching on. And Tony's saying my family and I are visiting your ancestral home, Plymouth, in England at the moment, David. My memory serves right. You mentioned it way back, and yeah, that's the case. There was one of us on the Mayflower, and as a matter of fact, one of my progenitors was a rather ill-behaved young lady who shocked the Pilgrims. And as they moved towards shore and they were putting the longboat in the water, she dove in, swam a short distance to the shallows, and waded ashore. And she was yelling, "I shall be the first on the new land." And she was roundly censured by the crew. She had a little bit of a stinker. And yeah, it looks like a little house. My close-up, I didn't get my close-up in there. It's black for some reason, and I don't know why. So if you bear with me just a moment, I'm going to navigate over and find the close-up of it and share it with you, because it's worth seeing. And it'll take me just a minute or two to navigate over there. And there we go. I think I got it now. And I'll be bringing it up in just a second as I fumble and bumble around here with OBS. You know, I've forgotten everything. I've absolutely forgotten everything over the summer. And I did work with it today, you know, putting images in, but then, you know, I forgot and changed the one image. Oh, okay, now here's an update on this image as we zoom in. Now look at that. And that has a sloping roof in back, just like you do with old buildings over a mine shaft. Now that inset is the gold mine at Bodie, California. It's a ghost town. And it's got that same sloping roof because the tunnel plunges underground. And I want you, if you can see it on your screen, look on the darkly shaded side and you'll see 3 whitish little marks. Those really look like steps to me. And no, Don, the texture in the sky is because this is a low-res Navcam image. And here's an interesting thing about it. NASA, when it shoots images with the Navcam, always takes a stereo pair. And they did not take a stereo pair with this one. And my conjecture, my speculation is this. Only the images that have a stereo pair have the associated metrics with them. That would be distance, azimuth, and size. Now, whether they did not take the stereo image on purpose because of this particular structure, I don't know. But in any case, there was no stereo image available and no metric. So I can't tell you how far away this is or how big it is. But it's quite some distance away. And it's way up near the top of the hill. So that is what we've got for that. So let's try something else. Here's something found by San Kotvix in an old Spirit pan cam. And there are no new ones, are there? Is that strange or what? It looks like a cross to me between a crab claw and a walnut. Whatever that means. And yeah, Alan, good point. When you run a denoiser, it reduces the texture. And I was working frantically to get these all ready and formatted today because I just got home Friday and then we've been moving into the house Saturday and Sunday and taking care of all our other chores and personal commitments. And then today, or yesterday rather, I did 9, actually about 20 3Ds and composited them and did all that stuff. And so I didn't really have the time to devote to it that I normally would have. But thanks for the tip, Alan. I'll certainly do that. Now, as you look at this thing, I have no idea what this is, but look at the top. It's a square plate on top with what looks like rivets or fasteners on it. So that makes me think this is a very badly corroded machine part. But now, look at these guys off to the right. And let your eyes relax into that one in front. It's triangular. It looks like a little machine part. And if you look at the top, at the apex, not only is it round, perfectly round, but it's got a little point in the center there. And that deal over it, does that not look like a car muffler? It does to me. Of course, that's not what it is. But boy, that sure looks like a muffler to me. And as I sneak back down here and come back into the image. Hi there. And I just want to thank all of you faithful viewers. Now, can I give you an update? Alan has shared with me some really amazing work that he's done. I believe it's on Percy, and I'm hoping to dive into that, if not this week, certainly this weekend. And he's using a process that strips away the layers of obfuscation that NASA puts on the images. And if what he's doing is legitimate, and I don't mean that as a slur, Alan, but you know, it could be something that's just inherent in the way they do the image, although I'm much more inclined to believe that what you're doing is revealing what they're hiding. But my gosh, the things that are in there are astounding. And so I'm going to be looking over that. He was kind enough to share his PSD file with me on it. And so I can go in there and I can pull things out and I can do them in 3D. And it promises to be quite a show. And also, Roger, I'm having a senior moment. I'm sorry, Roger. I don't remember your last name right now. Duh. Out in Arizona, out in Phoenix. He shared some really nice images and anomalies with me, and I'm going to be digging into those and getting those processed for you. So I've got plenty to do over the next couple of weeks. So anyway, that's what's in the production line, are some of these really cool things that Alan is working on, and I imagine he's working on them too. And I'm going to pull up another one here for you. And, okay, looking all around except at the middle. You know, it's kind of cool. Alan says, I'll send you a new update of the image. It's even better detail. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I went ahead and invested in the startup, and they have a thing called CenterCam. Now, I'm not sure if I am totally sold on it just yet, but I did receive it, being one of the early investors. And what it is a camera that sits kind of in the middle of your screen. You can pull it down from the top and center it and adjust it. And so it's a lot easier to look you in the eyes instead of having to find the camera and look way up like that. I can look right at eye level. And it's much better for communication. It's a much more realistic communication visually. Talk. Anyway, look at this. Look at that, will you? Now, that's what I call a handled limpet. Why? Well, first of all, look at the shape of this thing. I mean, that looks manufactured to me. And what's that handle doing on the right side? This is maybe 3 or 4 feet tall, maybe 4 or 5 feet across. And it's got a handle on the side. But did you notice this? Look at that. Look at that lump sticking out on the shaded side. It looks like what we call a keyhole limpet, which is a mollusk here on Earth. And the reason I'm calling it this and showing you this is because there's another one that I found earlier in Curiosity 2555. As I call this a helmet, and it has what seems to be a limpet-shaped device. Now I reprocessed this, and I made the limpet thing, the thing sticking out in the circle, a lot more clear. But I didn't get the right one in here. So I'm not going to wear you out by trying to dig that out and show it to you. But you can see it, right? And let me go back to that first one so you can take a look. Now take a look at this one. You can kind of just barely see the limpet-shaped thing sticking out of the side in the shadow. And this afternoon I went in there and I got super magnified up close next to it and worked with the pixels to bring out what was actually there. And it's much more clear. But now look at this. We're back at the other one. And you can see it very, very clearly. So what's that all about? I don't know. I absolutely do not know. Now you guys think, oh, let me ask you another question, and maybe you can answer this for me. I've been putting fusion dots in the images because people are saying it helps. Now, that little white dot at the top of the screen, in the middle of each picture, that's a fusion dot, and as you bring your eyes together, those dots come together, and the window's in 3D. Does that make it easier, or does it even matter to you? I know I did get one comment this past week from someone who said, oh my gosh, I've been trying for a year to get X3D to happen, and this did the trick. Now I can do it. And so, yeah, you're right, Don. It does look like a section of floor. But now look to the right of it and behind it. See that flat area coming up to it? It's almost like this thing was used like a box blade to level the surface, like it was dragged there and left upright. Hello, Ian. Welcome back, my friend. Back to the fusion dots. If there's anyone of you that are here tonight, good, you noticed it now, Granny. If you're new to X3D or are having trouble with it, here's what you do. It's very simple. Don't look at the pictures. Look at the horizon. Ignore the pictures. And you want the pictures to be 1.5 feet, 2 feet maybe away from your eyes. Look at the horizon. And then very gently cross your eyes. And you'll see those two dots coming together in the middle. When they fuse together, just lower your eyes and you're looking through a 3D window onto the surface of Mars. Granny sees all. Okay, let's move on now to something of Rami's that I did. Now this is a very early one he did from 2014 that he calls Slot Machine. And yes, it's very blurry. But you can see that it is not only a hollowed out cube, but the reflectivity there seems to indicate that it's made out of metal. Now this is one of those that I took and borrowed from Rami online. I very clearly labeled it as his find, and I've also left his copyright mark on it. And this is his processing, not mine. And yeah, Don, it should help the newcomers to have these fusion dots in each image. It is extra work, which I don't really want to do, but hey, it's got to be done. You know, for the new people. I want as many people to access this amazing process as I can. And if this helps, then I'll just do the extra work. So hopefully Rami, even though he's not communicating with me, will not be offended by what I've done here. I put my copyright on there, and you'll see just to the right of it my X3D watermark, which is simply there to tell you that I processed the 3D data in this 2D image. So this is now partially my intellectual property as well. That's the only reason I put that there, not to usurp anything that Rami has done. Hey, Adam. Yeah, thank you, man. Hit those like buttons, because that does help me out. Okay, let me show you something else here. This is another cube, as long as we're talking about cubes. And let me warn you in advance, this is really blurry. And but as you look at that cube, you'll see that it's segmented. It has little segments in back. And the reason, normally, folks, it's just so damn blurry. It just looks like crap. But I'm showing it to you, and I put it in this week's video because I wanted to show you this, which you've already seen, or was in this summer, one of this summer's videos. And there's another one. Another segmented cube, or cubical compartments. So that's now 2 of them that I've found, or that have been found. And so as I find more, I'll share them with you. And good question, Don. Don is asking if I can make a template. Well, when I do the final processing in Stereo PhotoMaker, they apply that template. I can select that template to put the fusion dots in there automatically. It's the very last step. But I have to go through every image. And there are usually 20 or 30 of them that I need to do. And that does take a little bit of time. Square revolvers, yeah. There we go. They had just like the Aztecs, they didn't have the wheel. They made square wheels and square revolvers. Okay, Don. I think we need a little bit of therapy there, my friend. Okay, just kidding. And now take a peek at this one. This is one I found in Nev's GMAC of Percy 130. And, man, can it be any clearer than that? You've got those right angles. You've got that evenly thick side that's in the sunlight, and those carvings along the wedge. That's artificial. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. It is definitely artificial. Yeah, Adam, and we'll go through all of these images again, so you all get a chance to see them and comment on them again if you wish. But yeah, there are multitudes of anomalies in virtually every image that I share, whether it's live hang or video. And I just kind of concentrate on the main one, the one I'm focusing on, because, man, you get into the weeds on this stuff, and videos would be 2 hours long, and nobody wants to watch a video that long. They barely will watch one that's 10 or 15 minutes. I think the majority of viewers. And I think Alan is talking about the roofs again. Are you talking about the first one we looked at, the rooftop, or are you talking about the one with the segmented compartments in the cube, the segmented cube? We'll get back to it, though. I promise. And here's another thing. You know, I've been trying to get the merchandise, such as it is, up and going, having trouble with the logo because there are a number of things in Photoshop that I frankly don't know how to do. And I've looked online. And, that's how I usually do things. I go to YouTube University and I learn what to do, and I do it and get familiar with it. And ta-da, I've learned something new. Not this time. Alan promises he's going to help me with it. And once I got a decent logo going, and I hope you guys are going to like it, it's going to look fantastic on a t-shirt or a cap or on any number of interesting little items. I'm just pulling up this last one for Alan. Okay, you're talking about this one. Yeah, that's an interesting comment. Rec TR3B. Could be. The reason I don't think this is stone so much is we look at the geology around you. The boulder that it's behind in this image and the boulder it's in front of. And, it's totally different from the surrounding geology. It's black, charcoal gray. So that makes me think this is made of metal. Thank you, Alan. I will send that graphic to you. And and yeah, Alan is kind of on a speed dial with me, Don. We communicate a good bit. And by the way, you guys, if you haven't been over and subscribed to Alan's channel, Mars the Second Genesis, as you may know, about 4 months ago, his channel mysteriously disappeared, and just a year's worth of material from his home drive. That's pretty nefarious stuff right there. That's pretty advanced hacking. They cleaned him out, and Alan has enough spine in him to just shake his head, pick himself back up, and put his channel back on the air and start working again. And Alan is far more adept in Photoshop than I am. He's a 30-year expert. And so his X3D images, which he's getting real good at, are beautiful. They're crystal clear, beautifully processed, and really worth a look. So if you haven't been over to Alan's channel, please go and subscribe, because there's a lot of stuff worth looking. Adam's talking about the previous photo, which is going to be probably this one is what you're referring to. And yeah, I mean, if you look down in front of that cube, there's more stuff with holes in it that looks very strange. And as you look around the image, virtually everything is anomalous. And yeah, Alan mentions that Jezero Crater is all CGI, and you know what? More and more I'm beginning to agree with you. They're rockifying everything. Chris has been pointing this out for a couple of years, and but I believe Alan, as adept as he is at Photoshop, has really discovered a way to rip back the curtain of obfuscation. And what we're finding is really actually shocking. And because there's structures and machines and high strangeness everywhere. Hi, Massamissa. I pronounced your name wrong, I'm sure, but I'm awfully glad you showed up. We're glad to have you, man. Or woman. Forgive me. I don't know if it's a male or female name. I don't mean to be gender insensitive. Okay, Tony, I understand it's late for you. Thanks so much for taking the time to stop by. And yeah, we'll be doing our hangs every Tuesday evening, God willing. I may contemplate going on a boat trip around Plymouth in the morning. That sounds like fun. It's a beautiful area. But you're probably talking about Plymouth, England, as opposed to Plymouth, Massachusetts. And yeah, I'm glad I got the right one. And yeah, they're, like I say, every one of these is going to be full of anomalies if you just look at them. Okay. Okay. And Masinisa Kalane? Masinisa Kalane? I hope I'm getting close to the pronunciation. And I understand that you're a man. I used to be one myself. Okay, take a look at this one. This is one that, we just looked at that carved wedge, and that brought to mind this one that Rami did. I call it a stela. Stela. I've been curious. I've always called them Stellas. And I looked up the pronunciation to see if there was a preferred pronunciation. And there are like a half dozen ways of saying it. There are people that say Steely. And these are pronunciation guides. They say Steely. They say Stel. They say Stella. They say Stela. They say Stella. Stelle. I don't know. It's crazy. So I'm just going to call it what I call it. And we'll be done with it. Everyone will get over it. But look at this thing. That is a carved stela. Look at the carvings at the top, and the point, and the things on the edge. Kings used to do. They put the exploits of kings carved into one of these stelas, or laws like the Code of Hammurabi, or sometimes they were funerary markers, telling the life of a person in hieroglyphics or cuneiform. Where did we get that notion to do that? And yeah, and I'll tell you, Rami does a wonderful job. He's been online a long time. He has a huge site on Facebook. And as I've mentioned before, for some reason he refuses to communicate with me. I have no animus towards him. Although I have personally, privately, taken him to task because he doesn't cite his images. Yeah. Head of Big Bird. Okay. Everyone sees what they see. You see what you see. I see what I see. But that's a very cool find. So I encourage you to go over to Exclusive Mars Images on Facebook, and where you'll be able to keep up to date every day with Rami's finds. Now, in these latter years, he and I have even done interviews together with Mars Moon Space. So I don't know why I can't hook up with him again. But as I'm looking for this next one that I'm going to share with you, because it didn't connect, because I made some changes in it. So I'm going to check it real quick. Okay. So here's another one. This one's kind of mind-blowing. Check this out. Now, tell me that doesn't look mechanical. That's an amazing thing right there. Could a rock erode this way? Sure. Sure it could, under the right circumstances, but it seems awfully unlikely to me. That looks like a push rod, like an arm that you would use with an eccentric and a push piston to convert linear motion to circular motion. Like on a locomotive. You guys are probably all too young to even know what a locomotive looks like. But hey, I like being old. It's a powerful thing. Anyway. Okay, now, this is our last image, and we'll go through them all again and share them with you. But take a look at this. If this isn't artificial, I'll eat a duck raw. And I want to tell you right now, there are not a whole lot of people doing X3D out here, so I can't brag to anyone, but this one presented some real significant 3D challenges, which I, for the most part, overcame. But look at that thing. Okay, let's do an inventory, okay? That's starting at the top. A convex hemisphere. Right below that, a concave hemisphere. Below that, a flat circular cutout with a hub right in the dead center. And then around those circles, each of them, is what could be a snake or a vine or just, a decorative motif. And then look at the sides. Got those nice parallel ridges that are carved in. This is a carved artifact, something that was made by an intelligent hand long, long ago. Then there's that pyramidal piece in the background. Lots to see. Lot to see. So I'm back, and as you can see, the darkness has fallen. My face is nice and dark, and this sorry webcam thing is cut out on me, the light bar. So that's not worth a flitter. But I don't know, maybe it'll be good someday. Hey, you know what? I've got an interview with Jimmy Roberts this week. The real Jimmy Roberts 1. He's into some new things. So we're going to do Marvin Moments with him. Going to find out a little more about this man of mystery, his background, why he's doing what he's doing, where he came from. He's a very accomplished musician. Very interesting guy. Very interesting guy. And he just started a UFO channel. Cool things going on there. And we'll have links, and it'll take me a while to process and edit it all down. And so that'll probably go up next week sometime. If he doesn't bail on me. He's got a real troublesome parole officer, but we're not going to go there right now. So anyway, we're going to do a quick run through. And let's see. Be good to have a meetup of Scottish anomaly hunters after the pandemic, perhaps. Ian, that's a great idea, because you've got the inimitable Neville Thompson over there, and then down in Bournemouth, England, you've got Martine Graney, another person with whom I'm persona non grata. God bless her. She does great work, and she has a wonderful Facebook site, and she finds some really interesting things. So we're going to run through the pictures again, and it won't take too long, and we'll be calling it a day after that. But we're going to start with good old Sunrise Command out on the lake early in the morning. I was out there most every day trying to fish, or I was there in the evening kayaking around, doing the same thing. And now we're going to swap over to that rooftop that Sarah Runcie found. Very cool. And let's move in on that. Oh, come on. Cooperate with me, will you? There we go. Now, as we get closer, you can see not only does it have a peaked roof and it's rigidly non-fractal, cubical in nature, it's got that sloped roof. And that inset picture is showing the old Wild West gold mine in Bodie, California, which has the same type of structure because the tunnel plunges underground. And that's how they bring the ore up. And you'll notice on the shaded side, you got what looks like steps, 3 little white steps coming down. I don't know if that's what it is. And thank you, Masinisa. I'm very lucky to go up to the Sunrise Command every summer. Call that my home away from home. And then we're into this one here with the Sancopteryx found. What the heck is that? I was calling it a cross between a walnut and a crab claw. Is that what it is? I don't know what it is. And then you got these 2 odd little items in back. That triangular piece definitely looks mechanical. It's got that circle at the top with a hub in the center. And that thing in the back, it looks so much like a car muffler, doesn't it? At least to me. That's not what it is, of course. But it seems oddly symmetrical. Look at all the 90 degrees. Look at the elliptical shape. You know, maybe it was a spark arrestor or muffler for whatever this machine was that's all corroded in the left-hand corner. And we're using fusion dots lately. And yeah, it could be part of a machine. And here's another odd one that I call a handled limpet, because it's flat, it's roughly square, it's got a handle on the right side. Why? It's got that flat area in back of it. Looks like it was used like a box blade to level off that area. And then of course there's this limpet shaped object right there. And a limpet being, of course, let me just see if I can't find the one that I did a little better work on. There we go. There we go. I'll show this to you in just a minute. But you've got this thing poking out. This looks like a keyhole limpet. Okay, now here's another one. And it's a little bit clearer. And I cleared this up this afternoon. Got this helmet, and it's got the same kind of limpet type thing sticking out of the side. And that inset, of course, is a keyhole limpet. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just saying that's what it looks like. And it's a really odd structure that I found now a couple of times. What are the chances of that? Then here's a find by Rami Bar Ilan, a very talented researcher living over there in Israel. And I'm going to be presenting more of his material. I'm doing it without his approval. However, I don't need his approval because A, these are public domain images. B, I've given him full credit for the image and left his copyright mark on there. And I make a real effort in the videos to say this is not my processing, it's Rami's. You'll see my logo down there in the left-hand corner and my watermark, because I extracted the 3D images out of this. A lot of work. Takes a certain kind of expertise to do that. So it's okay for me to put my copyright on this particular piece of intellectual property. And then we moved over, since we're talking about cubes, to this very blurry picture of a segmented cube that has compartments in it. Normally I wouldn't include this. It's too blurry. But the reason I did is because I found a similar object recently, a segmented cube. And then we're back to the carved wedge. Definitely non-fractal, definitely artificial. And while we're talking about carving stone, here's that wonderful stela that Rami Bar-Ilan found. That's a beautiful find. Really clear. Here's another one, a mechanical arm. Another Rami find. He's like me. He doesn't hit it out of the park every time. He has a really good one every 10 or dozen or so that he presents. There'll be one that'll be really outstanding. And then we'll wrap things up with this really nice carved block, crystal clear. And absolutely artificial. So I see that some of you have had to leave. I understand that. So we're gonna kind of bring things to an end. Thank you very much for joining me for this first live hang of the season. Even though it's number 16, it looks like I'll be taking summers off because, boy, I need the break. And I like to fish. And we have guests coming to stay with us. You know, I'm an innkeeper, okay? I stay real busy taking care of guests all summer long. Washing sheets, fixing breakfast, taking them on tours. Gosh, I'm a nice guy. So, and thank you, Don. I appreciate your nice comments about the vacation shots. There are a lot more, but I don't want to make this a slideshow for Dave's summer vacation. And I publish these anyway on my Facebook site, Magic Window X3D. If you like X3D, why not check it out? Magic Window X3D. And we have people from all over the world publishing some really cool X3D shots. So that's where I do my photography and personal work, my conversion work, that type of thing. Anyway, hey, I love each one of you guys. Thank you for hanging with me. Thank you for coming and being part of our live hang after a 3-month hiatus. And it's time for me to go. God bless you all. Stay safe. Stay weird. Hey, you know who you are, you proud weirdos. This is your buddy Dave over at MarsX3D.